wonder if it does calm down in a year.
Very great pleasure. I think it's fantastic that this is, has been billed as the Transatlantic session. For those of you that are familiar with the sessions on the television, this is our own, very own Transatlantic session, and very great pleasure to Susan to accompany us.
Thank you. Really is great to be here and staying, and we get to stay here after all. You go home because we're upstairs, and we love it. And it's especially great to be here with Bob and Leslie, our son and daughter-in-law. Thank you all for coming out. First of all, I'm going to take a stab at something here, since we are transatlantic. A poem that I make my students memorize is a Gerard Manley Hopkins poem. Let's see if I can get through it without, because I saw all these streams coming down this hill, and I asked Jim, who's a McMichael, he should know, if those were burns, and he said yes. But I always told my students, if I had a Scottish brogue, this is the way this poem should sound, but I wouldn't do that to you. But if I had that lovely stuff going on in your mouth when you speak, it would sound like it should sound, called inversnade. Is that?
That's right.
Yeah.
Are we close?
Very.
Oh, well, I'm transported then. This darksome burn, horseback brown, its roll rock high road roaring down, and coop and in comb, the fleece of its foam, flutes and low to the lake falls home. The wind-puffed bonnet of fawn froth turns and twindles over the broth of a pool so pitch-black, fell frowning, it rounds and rounds despair to drowning. Degged with dew, dappled with dew are the groins of the braes that the brook treads through, wiry heat packs, flitches of fern, and the bead bonny ash that sits over the burn. Where would the world be once bereft of wet and of wildness? Let them be left, oh, let them be left, wildness and wet. Long live the weeds in the wilderness yet. See, you can be born in New Orleans and still do something like that. So there's no excuse. And because I read that, I wrote a poem soon after I was reading a lot of Gerard Manley Hopkins. And it doesn't, I don't know, it's written, it's not about the grandeur of the nature of Scotland, it's about the label in the back of, like a clothing label. And it's called Petite, so obviously it was not my label, but Fraser Lawrence Petite. A label of cream glossy stalk, ink evergreen, inscribes a stylized arising sun in morning glory border, tendrilled, indent, boxed by a thick straight line, inside whose frame 9 beams may beam into the vines all day, and on until the ink begins to fade and paper lose the glue that bonds its molecules. For all the wandering they do in their green cage, for all the frail, free-roaming trail they traipse, touching the border in one place, dumb trumpets leaning at the static sun, the flowers, I count 44, will not drop from their stems, will not make more. So gravity. Ticking marks seconds players use to list words starting with a single letter. It is the end of concentration in a style of thinking. I have won before, and the smile of summer at tables under trees, rugs looped on little metal spikes and sheets stiff from sun drying. Oh, the looping car sighs in the suburb summer. The tire blimp is grinding over like a rainless thunderstorm. 10 years ago, its pilot grabbed a trailing rope to reattach the mooring, and it took him off into the small plain space just above the houses, but high enough. He was trying to save it. He was going up with the ship, and then he was falling away. What was he thinking? When did he know he had misjudged? At the gym, I talk fat, muscle, bicep curl, lunge. If he had been stronger. She says, work to failure, exhaust the muscles, and I want to rest. I get tired of holding on. His body whipping along like a flag over the woman strolling her baby, the boy cutting grass with his father. People watch the towers burning and groan as the bodies dropped a very simple way. There is no help. Then falling is what's left to do. So there actually is a blimp located near our house, the Goodyear blimp. That's where the tire comes from. Okay, I'm going to try to get into my program. Undertaking. She had to wash away the black silt worked into his pores, into the wrinkles around his eyes that made him look older than his 47 years. She walked his naked length on the table at her waist, where she kneaded dough, where she told the man to place him. She had given them the children and made them all leave. She took her time. By lantern light, she washed each finger, cleaning underneath the nail with a splinter sheet and cotton. She started once to wrap him in a blanket. He was so cold. She found a mole on his hip she never knew was there. I thought he would have liked to have her find the mole like this when he was still alive. I said to you when the husband died, the way it's done now, they make her leave the room, leave the body with a stranger, who zips it up in a plastic bag, tags it like a specimen, puts this warm, sweet body in a drawer. They let a stranger handle you that one last time. They would have to drug me. They would have to drag me away. Remember how I told you that? I would